good, family? Welcome back to another stroll in the neighborhood with your host, Sean Marshall. I'm so excited that you can join me tonight, and I'm super excited about tonight's episode. So geeked about it. But before we get started, you already know what I'm going to ask. So if you could please like, share, and subscribe, that would be amazing. Just so that you can stay tuned, keep up with us, see where we're going, see where we headed. You know what I'm saying? So without further ado, please allow me to introduce my brother, my homie, the one and only the Alderman himself, Mr. Shawn Florence.
Hey, what's up? How you doing?
What's up, brother? How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here, talk to you tonight.
Yes, I'm so excited to have you. Thank you so much I know your schedule is super busy, so I indeed count it an honor to have you here with us tonight. So,
It's my pleasure. My pleasure.
so for those that don't know who you are, and shame on you if you don't, because he knows everybody, and everybody knows him. But in case you don't, please introduce yourself and tell us what you do.
My name is Shawn D. Florence. I go by the moniker the Alderman. I'm known as the Alderman. I'm a fashion designer, wardrobe stylist, creative director, comedian, man of the arts, Renaissance man, provocateur. I'm all those things.
Yeah, provocateur. I like it. So you have so much going on. You do so many different things. How did you get started on doing what it is you do? Like who was your inspiration or what inspired you to do so?
When it comes to fashion, my biggest inspiration, which I cannot lie, is my mom. My mom was a woman of style and culture, and she was a trailblazer in her time of fashion. She made her own clothes, and so growing up, my mom was a stay-at-home mom, and
Mm-hmm.
she would hang out with her friends and they would go to the mall. They would go to Ridgemont Mall every other day for lunch, go to Neiman Marcus, have lunch. And so it was when I was born into going to the mall constantly all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it really became a thing of me, kind of growing up in some of those stores. And so I just learned fashion and I really didn't take a liking to it, I was to say, in such a deep sense to think that it would be my career
Mm-hmm.
later on into my life. Until after I graduated from grad school, got a master's degree in public relations and everything, I just didn't pick up on that fashion would be a way for me to, to make some money.
Yeah, yeah. So with all those different giftings, because you have tons of them. What would you say was your challenge, if there was one, on how to narrow down on an actual gift and how to perfect that one, or was it just your priority to perfect them all and then just kind of see where it goes? Like, what was your method to that? How did you come to that one?
I always say, tell anybody when anybody asks me about that. I believe that we are gifted with gifts, and when you truly tap into those gifts, a lot of people sometimes pick up on things that other people are doing and try to do that, and we try to sometimes learn and create our own gifts. Now you can learn things and become good at them, but
Right.
when something is truly your gift,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
that is when you find your gift, it is something that's innate. You don't have to try too hard at it. So
Yes.
fashion thing, I didn't go to school to be a fashion designer, and to get to the level of where I am now and having had the formal training of, hey, I went to Parsons, a fit, and nothing. It was not anything like that. This was truly something that was a gift that was just, innately put into me, and I was pretty much self-taught. My mom knew how to sew, but she kind of
Mm-hmm.
taught me, kind of the beginnings. But that was later on in life when everybody probably was in design school. So I knew that was my gift because I became good at it with just natural,
Yes.
and I believe I'm a strong believer that your gifts make room for you,
Yes,
and
sir.
that if you truly tap into that, it's going to monetize itself. You don't
Yes,
have to try to
yes.
force it, and that's really what happened. Yeah, because I know a lot of people who have went to design schools and went to big design schools who haven't nearly had as much traction as I have in the design world.
Right. So one thing that you mentioned that I love, you talked about how it's important it's okay for you to pick up on other things that people are doing if if you have an interest in it, but it's very important to kind of create your own, put your own stamp on it, and make it your own. How important is branding?
It was really important. Of course, when I started my first brand, which was my clothing line, Paparazzi Couture, and
Hmm.
now I've branched on and it just kind of encompassed all my works under the title the Alderman. Um, Branding was important not just because that was what I went to school for journalism and PR and all that. But, branding was more so important to me because I realized that if I was going to make it and be anything, I had to stay on people's minds and
Hmm.
stay in people's minds and make people think about my product or make people think about my brand that I was trying to put out there. So again, I tapped into what was natural for me, and in branding myself, um, that's what good, kind of what I did. I was naturally a stylish person, so I branded
Hmm.
myself as the Alderman of style, and so I just kind of
Hmm.
came up with that moniker, and I just, and that's very important in branding is picking that one thing, tapping into it,
Yeah.
and just like that, those talents, picking that one thing, tapping into it, and staying committed and strong to it, and make sure that you develop that into something that people can recognize you or connect to you. And what I've done with that is I am a fashion designer and stylist, but I'm also just happen to naturally be what people say is a funny guy. I have a natural comedic timing about myself, and so I was able to take that and branch that into my brand. And so it's so many aspects of my brand, and I kind of link those together. Like, hey, you're gonna get fashion, you're gonna get fun, you're gonna get foolishness, and people bought into that. They come
Hmm.
to my page to maybe to see clothes, or they may come because they saw me or something I've put out there, some that I've skit or something I've done that went
Hmm.
viral or something. So they may come to the page for that, but then they see the fashion and they see that the other
Yeah.
things that I'm involved with. And so
Hmm.
branding is super important because it gives people a way to connect you to something that
Right.
is, you know, outside of just the realm of your name. It's something that makes people click your name with something else. And I've
Hmm.
been able to do that with different things, not just my the name, the Alderman, but my look, the circle glasses. That's a part of my branding. I
Hmm.
also, have made a part of my branding, my different phrases. I say pumpkin all the time. Now people always associate that with me. Little
Yeah.
things like that I commit to
Hmm.
and that I
Hmm.
stay strong to, and try to drive in home with my messaging. Those things stick to you as a brand. So when you're branding something, you need to make sure that it's something that people connect to you, and it's something that's going to build your brand that makes people always going to think, hey, I need to keep that name in mind.
Yeah. That is so rich because it's already, so to me, unfortunate that the arts are not really, they're not really expressed anymore. We don't have, like back in the day, I remember back in the day doing like fine arts, community centers, events, dance, fashion shows, like all kinds of stuff growing up. We did, the arts was just insane. It was just always popping, it was always something going on in fine arts, whether it was fashion, dance, acting, singing, all kind of things. I feel like there is a lack thereof. So if you were given the opportunity to come up with anything you could think of that would usher the arts back into the culture or to the community, what would you come up with?
You know, I I'm a person that I'm all about the arts. I'm
Mm-hmm.
into the acting, the theater. I've done plays.
Yeah.
I do all that.
Mhm.
I ain't no singer, but you hand me a mic, I'll try to sing.
Yes.
Any aspect of whatever it is, I love the art. So if I could do one of the things that I have a passion to maybe in the future see me doing is just like starting an art collective in a community like mine, like to nurture those talents where people can come and then have guests instructors come in. May have a 2 week camp with this dance instructor, somebody who's done some great things in
Yeah.
dance. Then we may have a 2 week camp with this vocalist who's maybe done this and that in the industry. We may have an actor
Mm-hmm.
who's been, in stage plays, film, or whatever, come and do, a month,
Mm-hmm.
conservatory or something like that. But just a collective, a hub, because we do
Mm-hmm.
need to nurture those arts outside of the
Yes.
realm of, the computer screens. The youth have taken the arts to, technology, and that's great, the TikToks
Yep.
and all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
we need to be able to nurture those kids who may not have that strong connection to that, who
That's right.
need that push socially and need to see and need hands-on training and just to see
Yes.
somebody from their city doing it.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is kind of the focus of your show is, kind of to put that highlight on what's going on here. That's one of the important things I think about my career, because a lot of times when people think of, fashion design and style, they don't think that it can, you can necessarily do anything and make any type of spark from right here
Exactly.
work.
Exactly.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've kind of,
Mm-hmm.
defied those odds and said, like, hey, yeah, you kind of can, you
Yeah.
actually can. And so I take pride in saying, hey, I still live here in Fort Worth. I'm proud of my city, and I try to do so much to try to see it grow in so many different areas.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
hope that I'm a light to be able to say, hey, look, this dude has worked with this person. This dude does this dude does that. And he's still right here. I'm still, accessible to the what's going on in my community, what's going on.
Right.
So I think that's important that people be able to see, like the Leon Bridges and everybody, do something
Yes,
from Fort Worth.
sir.
Yep. You don't have to
Yes,
move
sir.
away and go where it's popping
That's
already.
right.
You
That's
know,
right.
that was one of June Ambrose actually told me that, because I was at a conversation with her about, like, saying, hey, I feel like I need to move, I
Mm-hmm.
need to go away. And she was like, no, she was like, be who you are from where you are. She was like, where you are,
Yes.
you need your particular, savoir faire.
Yes.
And that's true. We have to
Mm-hmm.
sometimes create our spark where we are.
Yes,
The
sir.
world may catch on later when they need to.
Yes,
And if you
sir.
stay in line with your gift, that's going to happen anyway.
Yeah. Whew, you better preach. You're so right. That it reminds me of a sermon that was preached at our church by Pastor Darrell. It's called "Bloom Where You're Planted." Right where you are, just take that spot, hold
Yep.
on to it, and just go with it and grow with
Yep.
it and watch it
Oh,
glow. Man, that's so good. One thing I want to say, shout out to Miss Deb. I call her Mama Deb, Miss Debbie Smith. Man, back in the day, she had everybody's kids. It didn't matter what school you went to. She didn't care if you were around. If you were around her kids and knew any of her kids, you were gonna be in her house. And we spent plenty of days in her kitchen dancing. I'm definitely not a dancer, but she made me dance. And we
huh.
went to the community center. We had
Mhm.
our outfits dancing to Janet Jackson,
Yeah,
Icy Page.
right.
So, and those are the things that I feel we are missing, and that those kind of moments, even if that wasn't your thing, that wasn't how you were able to get your creative juices flowing, it still birthed something in you to say, man, let me figure out what I want to do. I want to try this. I want to try that. So, man, I wish you could get, something like that started, because definitely sign me up. I'm coming. Put me on the list. What class we need to teach? Because I'm down for it. I would love it. We need that so bad, so much right now. If you're listening, the alderman will start an academy. He'll start get a building, give him a building, so we can bring the arts back. We
Yeah,
ready.
right.
We ready. So with all that you
Yeah.
do, one thing that I love that you do is I kind of feel that there is I have a special love for the attention of the man. And what I mean by that is I love that one of the things that you've done, and you just had an event that you just did with, and you partnered with other guys, other gentlemen, but it was for everybody, but it was specifically towards the man, and it was, you know, get your suit, get cleaned up, get it. To me it said you take pride in yourself,
Yeah.
come out, let's have a good time. It's okay for men to get together and to hang out. It's okay for me to say man, you look real nice in your suit, that kind of thing. I love that you are ushering that in, because uh, I feel like one of the things that's lacking in our community is the attention to the man, how
Yeah.
to support them, how to encourage them. Um, what are some other things that you feel would be beneficial just in that area, like other events or anything like that? I think it's amazing that you're doing that and that you're onto something good like that, because that is just so needed, in my opinion.
Well, I was glad to be able to partner, with Neo Soul and the J Crawford agency with that event, and it was a real good message, I think, just to tell brothers, hey, let's come together, give, man, sometimes we take on a lot of stress and a lot of things, and sometimes we can walk around the city with that chip on our shoulder, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And
Yes.
I always
Yes.
mention that I posted not too long ago, talking about how, brothers, we need to normalize speaking to each other. But I wanted to do
Mhm.
something that would make it. And brothers feel like, hey, we can come together, have a good time. Ladies, y'all can come and sit around and watch. But this is a bro,
Right. This for the
this
guy.
is this for the
Yes.
fellas, this for the kings.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I,
King
I
stuff.
wanted to, you know, to be able to kind of usher that in with them, along with them,
Mhm.
and be able to, kind of be a face of that event. And it was a real cool thing to see, brothers get dressed up. 'Cause when you dress up, you act a different way. You know what I'm saying? When
That's
you
right.
put on that that
That's
that
right.
jacket, I love my sneakers. I'm a sneakerhead. I show up in so many different ways. But when I put on
Yeah.
a jacket, it's something else. You kind of you feel it. And I
Yeah.
want brothers to be able, to have that experience. We want to keep doing that. They reached out to me. They say they want to try to keep it going. And we had a nice showing. It was a very relaxed night, very chill night. And I think that's so important that brothers, get to
Yes,
have
sir.
that bonding experience. It's okay for brothers to get together, assemble, and kick it. And have we need
That's
that.
right.
Girls have
That's
their
right.
time. Women have their time to go to the
Hmm.
spa, you do whatever. Brothers, we
Yep.
need a time, to, just a moment. Sometimes that's good for the mental health,
That's
and
right.
that's another thing that I promote on my platform is black men taking care of your mental health. I've
Yes.
been
Yes.
open and transparent on my platform about my battle with mental health. And when
Hmm.
people all that stigma is like, oh, when you say mental health, that just means you're crazy. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
we have to kind of dispel that mental health could be anything from the
It can
just
be in it.
anxiety, depression. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yes, sir.
very laid back, very intellectual people who suffer from mental health.
Yes.
And so I
Yes.
try to, be very open
Mhm.
about that and about seeking counseling, talking to people. Hey, now I learned that hey, when I ain't feeling good, you gonna know somebody gonna know. Someone gonna
Somebody
know.
gonna know.
Somebody
Yeah.
gonna know. Yeah,
I
I'm
know
gonna
that's
talk about
right.
it to somebody. Hey, I done got to where hey, one of my friends. Hey, y'all finna get this right now. This is what I got
Now,
going on. Yeah,
all this work. So, and we were kind of made to believe, that it's you keep this in. You don't say anything. What go on in our house stays in our house, and you don't discuss it. You don't tell nobody. And we were just conditioned to not say anything. And then we grow up, and then we project that behavior onto our kids,
hmm
and it just keeps continuing to happen.
yeah.
It keeps continuing to happen.
And that's why I say, it starts from, the beginning of our lineage, from all the way back to slavery.
Yeah,
We,
yeah,
our people were whipped and chained and told to bottle emotion. Then we were set free. Then we went to the
yeah.
faith, to the church, and we were told to take it to Jesus. Don't cry about it. Don't worry about it. Take it to
Yes,
Jesus.
sir. Yeah,
And then,
yeah.
like you say, we bottle that in, and now it's just
Mhm,
okay to realize, just like you go to the doctor to see about your heart when your blood
mhm.
pressure is out of whack, you trust the doctor with that. Those same things that can go wrong in your body can go wrong in your mind. Those same
Yes, sir.
imbalances that can happen in your body down here, they can happen up here, and they can
Yes,
affect.
sir.
And we have to learn to go talk to somebody. And not always your
Yes,
friends.
sir.
Sometimes you can have friends that will listen, and
Yeah.
friends that are a good ear. But sometimes
Hmm.
you need to talk to a professional, and I've learned the difference that there are doctors out there for a reason that deal with that, and they actually can help.
That's right. Because sometimes, your friends can just be that, just support.
Yep.
You need people who are trained because they give you certain tools to use to kind of maneuver through those moments. And it's important because we have so much
Yep.
going on all the time. And even just in a day, there's so much going on. You just got one thing after another, one thing. And yeah, you can talk to your friends, like you said, you can get that encouragement and all of that. But I need to know, okay, if I feel this coming on, what triggers it? And then how do I deal with that trigger? It's just so important that we incorporate, seeing somebody. It's okay. It's okay if you
Yep.
need to see somebody and if they need to slip you a little pill to calm your nerves down, that's
Yeah.
okay. There's
Yep.
nothing wrong with that. Do what you got to do to maintain your peace, your sanity. It's so important,
Yep.
not just for the man, but for the human race, period.
Yep.
All of us, we all need it.
Yep.
So, with all this that you have going on, all of these different giftings and all of this, how do you find the perfect balance, for family, for, just one-on-one time with your wife and then family with, how do you do that? Because I know people kind of struggle with that sometimes. It sometimes it causes problems,
Yep.
with certain people. So how do you find that balance to do that?
One thing I've learned about being, an entrepreneur, a person that wears, many hats, is that your life tells you. I mean, if you center yourself around, what's right,
Hmm.
you'll
Hmm.
know it's time to take a break and get that.
Yes.
One thing I do is I try to work closely with my wife, and keep her a part of my business. Uh,
Right.
that helps. And another thing is I just kind of listen to my emotions. Like, hey, I know I need some family time right here. So what I do is I always schedule certain things. Like on the weekends, I try not to, if I'm not pressed to have to do work. I try to
Yeah.
make some moment to, hey, if there's no, we going to dinner, going to that, just to try to, keep that balance of keeping me sane. Because if you just
Hmm.
work, everything becomes, a feeling of work, and you kind of lose that passion about it. And that's
Yeah.
what, you know, why I kind of dip my hands in so many different endeavors in the arts, because I'm an artistic, creative person.
Yes, sir.
That when one thing kind of burned out right there, one thing I can
Yeah.
thing and put some concentration on that, grow in that area,
Hmm.
grow
Hmm.
that part of my business or that part of my career. So I try to, just kind of keep it, um, myself grounded in that, and
Hmm.
grounded in my family and my friends. I try to make time for, me and my wife to go out with our friends and have company with, people, and because that's important to me also for my mental
Yeah.
clarity, is to kind of
Hmm.
release
Hmm.
myself from work.
One point that you brought up was you were talking about kind of getting burnt out, and you have so many giftings and you're talented at very of a few things, but then there's a one gift that you kind of, it's your main focus, it's your concentration, and you do it so much that it's so easy to get burned out on it. And I love that you said, you pull away from it in a sense, and you just kind of focus on other things that you're gifted in, kind of just to give you a boost, or to kind of refuel, get refreshed, and then you get back on it. That is so important, because it's so easy to get burnt out on certain things, especially when you feel that it's not lending you certain rewards or certain benefits, or it's not kind of taking you where you feel that you need to be at that moment.
Yeah,
I
and
just I thought that was good.
and now that's so true to me, because I really try to hold back on certain things because like I say, when it comes to even monetizing certain gifts
Hmm.
or certain things, like with the comedy and the characters, like I've
Hmm.
been slow to kind of, when I say monetize, that start the YouTube channel and constantly,
Yeah.
we're in a world of the TikTok and
Hmm.
everything driven by content.
Hmm.
And for me, some of those things are my safe place. That's my run. That's the place that I want to run to kind of like free myself, and kind of
Yeah.
way. So I've been slow to do that, because I feel like once I do that, it becomes the chase to constantly
Hmm.
create content, and then I'm so driven by content that I lose that escapism in it. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
really,
Yeah.
which I just give out for free now. I just go on my social media, just
Yeah.
just do it when I want to. But in the event that
And
it
it's good
becomes
stuff.
monetized, it's so easy to you know
Hmm.
like I love fashion. I love creating clothes. I love being on sets. I love doing concert tours and wardrobe. But after, when I go through those seasons of prom and then doing shows and prom and shows and prom and shows and prom, it's like a while. Like I just went, okay, time to vacation. I don't want to see any.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any thread. I don't want to see any scissors.
Yeah.
Need a hiatus.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Yes. I
it's not
definitely
just
get
like a couple of days. Like I really need some time from it. I need some time to rejuvenate, refresh myself, not just in the
you. Yeah.
passion of it, but just in the
Hmm. Hmm.
creative aspect. You know, creativity takes some rest.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Ooh. Oh, Lord. Listen, that is so important. That is so rich, because we as artists, we forget that.
Hmm.
We forget that sometimes you got to pull back, and you gotta, let it. It's just kind of like, let it marinate a little bit. You gotta feed some more stuff to it, not recreate it,
Hmm.
but just kind of let it breathe a little bit, and just give it more, and just kind of work on more stuff. Just kind of pace yourself and figure out, if you're still going in the same direction, you might need to like turn a little bit, do a little something. It takes time, and it takes the rest. When you take rest for real, you gotta rest for real. I love that. That is so important, and we forget that.
Yeah, because as artists, we're like flowers. You know what I'm saying? We're
Yeah.
growing, and no flower stays in full bloom season. You all
Hey.
No flower is giving you their full regalia, all so their full blossom all
Yeah.
season. Every flower takes that time to go dormant,
Yes, sir. Yes,
collect,
sir.
rejuvenate, get more light, get more, all of that. And especially with creativity, you have to take that break, because if you don't, you become so in a loop that you become mundane. You become the same thing over and over. You're not
Yeah.
allowing yourself to, recreate yourself. And
Yes,
even
sir.
as a person in my own branding, I find myself, I'm always reinventing myself. If I look back
Yeah.
5 years, I don't look like the same,
Yes,
Sean I did
sir.
5 years. I'm not rocking the same things. And I like that
Yeah.
whole idea of being able to kind of just take a break, you know, go dormant for a while
Yeah.
with a new vision, a new
Yes,
perspective.
sir.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. I'm very big on pulling back, regrouping, figuring it out a little bit, and then bring it back. And it doesn't necessarily mean I gotta just change every single thing about me and my brand and all of that. No, I'm just tweaking it, and I'm putting it back out there. I'm just tweaking it, just coming up with a little few things just to
Yep.
kind of, bring it and put a little sauce on it, is what I call it. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
That is, I hope
Yeah. And
that
that's
people are listening to this, because this information is so important. to the artist, not just if you are a stylist or a designer or it's for anybody, singers, uh, actors, whatever. Everybody can use this information. Everybody can. You need a master class.
Hey,
Just saying.
hey, I might have to work on that. Might have to
Just
work.
saying.
But we should always be constant life learners. Like, no,
Yes, sir.
one thing that I love about my craft, like sometimes now when I'm going to these big shows or they got big, multi-million-dollar productions and I'm coming in, my thing is I try to look at everybody's job and soak up something. And
Yes,
so
sir.
because every time I soak up something, I add that to my repertoire. And then next time I go there, I'll be like, hey, I know how to do that. I've gotten so many, opportunities because I learned how to do something else. I learned that skill. And we should always be like,
Yeah.
or even just even in
Always.
skill as far as fashion, like I still don't know everything. I'm not
Hmm.
the best. I'm not the greatest. There's people who can still mentor me. There are people who can still teach me, and we're all teachable. And that's the thing.
Yes,
Once
sir.
that level that you feel like you have become unteachable, you've lost all your flavor. You know,
Yeah.
your
Whew.
flavor
Better
comes in
talk.
being able to grow. Who wants to get to a point where they don't have nothing else to learn? Like,
Mm.
you
My
don't have
gosh.
to,
Yeah.
that's a very stale place in life to
It
think
is.
you have gotten to a point that you have nothing else that you can be taught or you can be educated on or grow on. We should always be growing, and
Always. I totally agree. I totally agree. I love that. So, speaking of all of these projects and everything, I mean, I do have on. You
eh,
see me? Hey.
that's
So, come on. I know you got some stuff, kind of working on. Well, just, tell us what you can tell us. I know you always got some,
yeah.
stuff in the vault. Go ahead.
This is I'm always trying to pull out little splashes of things with people because my,
Yeah.
my true vision right now as a designer is, well, I work do more custom wear, but
Mm-hmm.
I am getting into the point to where I'm dabbling into putting out pieces of ready to wear just t-shirts right now, but I'm really wanting to get out to putting out you know apparel that people can buy, and I just wanted to kind of test the waters, like with a fun sweatshirt here. We got some hoodies coming, just different things. But I want to try to
Yes.
always keep it in a realm of being different. I just don't want to, be average. I try to always, again, try to do it not just for the sake of doing it, but doing it for
Mm-hmm.
the excellence and for the art. So
Yes,
I
sir.
put things out when I feel like, okay, this is right. This feels right. The timing feels right. But one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that I'm going to put out there that I am working on in the process of creating a collection that I will eventually put out on the runway and do a show. Love, my wife has been on me about, hey, we need to do another show. That's kind of what got me with me in a great place in my career. And early and on in my career was producing my own fashion shows, and people would come
Mm-hmm.
out and that would wow them, and then they'd be like, okay, so
Yeah.
things that I'll be working on is trying to slowly develop a full collection in the midst of doing everything else that I'm doing. I've got great bookings coming up that I just got a call today. I'm gonna be doing Pitbull this weekend, so that's
Yeah.
so
That's so dope.
yeah. So it's just a ride. I just kind of
Yeah.
play it by ear, play it by passion. I'm a true artist to the heart. I
Yes, sir.
create it with the love of doing it first. That's my first thing. I just want to do it, you
Mm.
know, and then I feel like everything else will come after that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I totally agree. So now, and I know, and then before I say this, before I ask this, I'm just gonna say to all that may be watching, all parents, now y'all know this what I'm about to say. There is a window, so you really want to make sure. This man is known for a prom season. So I'm going to ask him to give us all of his handles so that we can, follow him, stay connected, stay tuned, because, you'll never know what he pops up with. But I'm telling you, that prom season pops like popcorn at the carnival. the safer corner. Both of my, I've been
Hey,
a customer twice, and so
right.
have me and my husband. So listen, I'm just saying, you might want to just get on where when you're able to, because pretty soon we won't be able to. Okay, I'm just saying, y'all. Hear what I'm saying. What I'm not trying to say. I'm trying to say. I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to help you.
Try to help
Okay, trying to help you. So please tell the people how they can follow you and stay connected to you.
All right, you can follow me on social media always. I'm at on IG at the Alderman of Style, I'm sorry, just Alderman of Style, and on Facebook, Shawn D Florence. That's on Facebook, and you can check out my website where you can contact me, get connected when I do drips, when I do shows, all that. Book me, all that through my website at thealderman.fashion. That's it, no .com, just thealderman.fashion. And I'm proud.
Listen,
It took me a long time to get that website laid.
I love it. It ain't no extra, no .com or and none of that. Just
Yeah,
fashion.
yeah, just
You
not
hear
fast.
me? Yes, sir.
Mm.
All right, before we get out of here, though, now, we have a question we love to ask all of our guests. So, we're going to the corner store, the
Mhm.
real one, like
Okay,
the hood corner store,
bam.
where you can't see through the front door because
Because
that
it's
door
all
is that
yeah,
window.
yeah,
Yeah, you know what you want.
covered with
Tell me
stickers.
what you, yeah. You can barely tell it's a store. You only know it's a store because you live in the neighborhood,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So tell me what you're gonna buy.
Oh man, if I'm going to the store, first thing I would do is I like the sour cherries. So if they got the sour cherries, like the 2 for $1 sour cherries, and they the
Yes,
good
sir.
ones, yeah, the one in the orange and red bag, I'm gonna grab me a bag of those.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna go on to the back. I'm gonna give me a knee high peach.
Yes, sir.
At the hood store, the knee high peaches are the best. I don't know why. They
Hey,
best for me.
anywhere else they are disgusting. I don't know why that is.
You got to get the knee high peach, and then I'm gonna go, and grab a bag of the Cool Ranch Doritos.
Hey,
Keep it old school, and then I'm out that thing. I'm out that
yes,
thing.
sir. Yeah, man. See, that's a good snack.
Yeah,
That's a good snack right there. Yes,
yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. I love it.
You take that first drink of that knee high peach,
Woo.
get you right there.
It get right in that corner, that pocket right there. You be like, "Ooh." And you know how it give you that slight burn in your nose, like in the bridge part. You be like, "Ooh." Yes.
That's
Woo.
the best. That's the best.
And you can only get it at the corner store. You can't get that no 7-Eleven. No, It got
Oh
to be it just say store.
yeah, store. And
That's,
if you are confused about whether that is a store, you will see a little Newport
hey,
there. That's you know.
yes, sir. It's got all those old posters, and some of it is peeled. You can't see what it is because the middle of it is gone. It's
Right?
just the top and the bottom of it. So that's the real one right there. That's the one you need to go in and find that neon peach. I mean
Knee high,
and neon. But what's the other one? The red.
big
The
red.
fancy.
Oh,
Woo! That fancy.
yeah, the
The
fancy.
old school one though,
Yeah,
not the new one.
the
The new
old.
one is cool. I'm talking about that old one. They be back on that dirty rack back there. Yeah. You got to take it home and wipe it out first before you drink it. Everyone's we looking for. Yes, sir. Man, bro, thank you so much for joining me tonight, hanging out with me. I really, really appreciate you. Thank you for everything that you do for the community, for the culture. We so appreciate you. We appreciate your gift, and we got you. Whatever it is you need, we are in full support of you for sure. Thank you so much for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
Thank you for having me. I was it
Yes,
was
sir.
so glad to be here. You my sis, and so I'm just honored to be able to come and talk with you. It felt like I was just having a phone conversation. So
I know,
it's
right?
great.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Thank you
Right.
again, bro. I appreciate you. All right, guys, that was our show for the evening. I'm so glad you stuck with us tonight, hung out. Hope you learned a whole lot because there was a lot of information going on. So, before you get out of here, you know what we're going to ask again? If you will please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We really appreciate you. So you can catch us next time. We're all around the neighborhood. We'll see you then.